Hi guys, Claire Hilton here and welcome to my channel all about beauty, fashion and lifestyle. Seeing as this is my very first video, I thought I would give you a quick intro to myself to start with. So my background has always been in the retail buying industry, mostly within beauty and fashion, working with absolutely fabulous retailers like Harvey Nichols and John Lewis. I've also trained as a fashion stylist and a beautician, so hopefully you'll find my videos really useful, and if there is anything you'd like to see me cover in the future, please do leave some comments and we can certainly have a look at that and see how we can do that going forwards. So on to today's hot video topic, which is my 5 top hygiene and skin hygiene tips, starting with number 1. So number 1 is going to be a really obvious one that I hope you should all already know, but it's all around washing your makeup brushes. So ideally we should be washing our brushes once a week, although the fabulous makeup artist Bobbi Brown does say that when it comes to eye brushes, that they don't mind doing that a couple of times a month, so every couple of weeks. And if that's good enough for Bobbi, then that is good enough for me. So with this, you don't need to have anything particularly fancy or special. You don't have to buy any particular liquid or cleaner. So warm soapy water is all you need. I have this lovely little silicone sort of goodie from Birchbox that has these ridges on it. That is going to last me forever. So I just get my warm soapy water, give it a little rub over, and you'll just see all of the nasties and the dirt and the product coming out. And then once that runs clear, you're done. I then like to lay some kitchen towel down on my draining board and just pop these upside down, or right side up, should I say. And it just allows them to dry naturally, soaks up all the water, and then within an hour or so they're usually dry and you're good to go. As I say, you don't need anything fancy to do this. If you wanted to, you could even get a hot glue gun and a sheet of plastic, glue some dribbles and lines on the plastic and just use that, as long as you've got a bit of a surface, just to use to give it a bit of a scrub. That's all you need. So that's hot tip number 1. Number 2 is to always start any application process in the morning for your makeup with clean hands and a clean face. So for me, that's all about cleansing, toning, to get that nice, clean, fresh feeling to my skin, to make sure I'm nice and clean before any application of product goes on, to make sure I'm completely clear of anything that's built up overnight. So that would be my hot tip number 2. And tip number 3 is not dipping your fingers into your creams and beauty products. So if you do have clean hands, then that's absolutely fine. But if you think one dip is usually not enough, normally you have to go in for a second dip. And if you're going to do that, then you're double dipping. You wouldn't do it with your chips. So why do it with fingers that's going to go onto your skin? So ideally, I like to use a tool. If you're going to use a tool, I ask that please try and avoid using plastic. There's enough plastic in the world as it is already. I like using these lovely disposable bamboo tools, and then I just recycle these once a week. And you can just dip it in, take out your product, pop it on your hand, and then if you know you've not got enough, you can go in and get some more. And you know that you're not double dipping and building up the bacteria that's going into your product, and making that nasty and possibly not safe for your skin. Also, always ensuring when you do put your product back together that you are putting the lid on properly, so there's no room for any nasties or air or bacteria build-up getting in there. So a nice straightforward tip, but not necessarily one that everyone thinks of. You've probably seen when you're buying your Clarins or your Clinique or whatever brand you like to use, that you do normally get these disposable tools that come with it. They are there for a reason, and I would always highly recommend using them. So hot tip number 4 is to always remove your makeup before bed. Again, a nice, straightforward, easy tip, but one that I think a lot of us are quite guilty for. I know it's probably not happening as much at the moment, but on a night out, you might go out, get a little bit tipsy, and then crawl straight into bed. I always, no matter how tipsy I manage to get myself, or how inebriated I may well be, I always grab my wipes and as a minimum use that to remove my face. Otherwise you're then laying on your pillow and spreading your bacteria from whatever build-up you've had during the day, as well as just leaving makeup on your face not being a fabulous idea for keeping your skin and your eyes nice and clean and clear and fresh, ready for a great night's sleep and the next day. So my final tip, number 5, and this one might be one that you're not actually aware of, but if you think about what we were just saying in the last tip, this last tip is all around making sure you change your pillowcase on a weekly basis. So even if you're not necessarily washing your bedding on a weekly basis, which again is something we're all probably a little bit guilty of from time to time because it can be a chore. If you wash your pillowcase on a weekly basis, you're ensuring that you're not getting any buildup of bacteria. And I found for a while I was waking up with sort of sores or spots on my nose and my chin, and would often find that I had that sort of as a morning, which was quite unusual for me. So I started, when I was doing my beauty course, one of the hygiene tips they give you was to make sure you clean your pillowcase on a weekly basis just to keep it nice and fresh. Any bacteria buildup or anything else that's going on within the pillowcase is then completely removed, and you've got a nice fresh pillowcase once a week. And also, who doesn't love a nice fresh pillowcase? Always makes me feel happy when I'm going to bed. And then I actually have a last extra hot tip, and this is more to do with the climate that we're living in at the moment. So sadly, we are all enforced to use one of these at the moment. You may well have a very fashionable, sexy version yourself that isn't quite so clinical. But also it's just a reminder that these things do build up with bacteria and nasties, particularly as we're using them all on a daily basis at the moment. So if you've got one of these that are disposable, I prefer to use the disposable ones. Make sure you're changing them on a daily basis. Maskne is real, people. When I first started using these on a regular basis, I was finding I was getting breakouts all around my nose, even sort of around my cheeks, which was really rare and unusual for me. And as such, I made sure I started changing them on a very regular basis. For me, as I say, I change them on a daily basis because it makes me feel a lot more hygienic and happy about my skin. If you do have the ones that are washable, then maybe just think about giving them a wash every couple of days and having a few so that you could interchange them just to keep life a bit happy, because we have no idea how long we're going to be using these for. So even when we are free to roam again, who knows when we will be free of these lovely masks. Okay guys, so that is everything from me for today. So those were my 5 mega hot tips for keeping hygienic, keeping your skin nice and hygienic. Plenty more to come, so please do stay tuned. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I hope you enjoy all the things we have coming forwards.